creative and innovative. And it's not a state of logic, it's a state of creativity. And the future doesn't require logic, it needs creativity. And if we are not shifting the way we make decisions about the future, machines and robots will ultimately take our jobs. We can't compete against Watson. We can't compete against any of these new artificial machines. Right. We have to shift what we look at and how we focus on the future. And foresight is the process and the sort of equation that I'm trying to share in the book.
To what extent might artificial intelligence be able to adapt some of these principles that you have in the book?
What do you mean? Oh, well, you know, now,
they're showing themselves to become more wise, not wise in the way that you would describe.
Yeah, well, listen, they're picking up. I mean, if you had to ask Siri 5 years ago to tell me where my closest bridge is, I want to kill myself. So it is happening. It is growing. And you must remember that artificial intelligence learns just like we do from interaction. And because they're interacting with millions of people a minute, where we're only interacting with 30 or 40 people a day, they're learning quicker.
And are more disciplined about shifting behavior with what they learn than humans are.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I think we're still in the early stages of really starting to understand it. And if you think about us trying to understand the internet 20 years ago, we didn't even know what the @ sign meant. So what we've got to start understanding is that this is brand new and it's developing as it's going forward. Does the internet have a dark side? Yes. Does it have a light side? Yes. Look at what it can do to an 8-year-old girl's life in Malawi. It can infuse her with knowledge and power and creativity, but it's also got the dark web. Just like artificial intelligence and just like a surgeon's knife. It can kill you or heal you.
I like that perspective. John, do let me know what some of your influences were to investigate these these patterns of thought for all three of your books, because there's a clear progression on all three, from What's Your Moonshot through to Magnetize and to Foresight. The introspection, the consciousness, the participation with I suppose the world at large, and then the wisdom from a psychological perspective.
It's been 100% my own development. Is because I have got myself, you know, if you've read any of my books, you'll know in my 20s I was really before my 20s, I wasn't wealthy at all. I come from a single mom family. We always struggled for money. In my 20s, I became really wealthy and I made a lot of money. And then at 30, I declared bankruptcy. And what I sat down in my tears, I realized that when I was poor, I was unhappy. When I had lots of money, I was unhappy because I just wanted a little bit more. And then when I was bankrupt, I was unhappy. And I just thought to myself, hang on a second, there's something wrong with this equation. We are perpetually unhappy because we're always expecting more and not actually counting our blessings. And this process really got me to dig deeper into my own psychology, into my own flow state, and how do I create this flow state that gives me the ability to soar, to be adaptable, to be flexible. And now with my own deep study of my own psychology, I'm able to share this with people around me, because guess what? Everybody is going through the same thing. You know, we all sitting in this state of perpetual anxiety without realizing that we are. We almost think that it's normal to be tapping our foot up and down, or to be constantly looking for that next glass of wine or that cigarette. And these are all just based on our need to be safe, and we're not feeling safe. And so I'm able to share this sort of, I suppose, teachings and ideas because it's the best way to learn. I mean, Yogi Bhajan has got a great saying. He says that if you want to learn something, read about it. If you want to understand something, write about it. If you want to master something, teach it.
Powerful words there from global speaker and best-selling author John Sane. I can attest, I've known you since those 20s,
sure, yes.
And I never actually get tired of hearing the story. It has been a wonder to observe, and thank you very much for sharing the wisdom with us. Foresight is your forthcoming third book. It will be available in May.
Yes.
Look out for that book. We all want to be a great deal wiser. The plain sight we'll get into at the moment will be from Regan Thor, who is currently ready with the news.